Santucci. We are at Port St. Lucie High School for PrepZone on the road. See now, I got to show you these. These are cool. Somebody handed me these when we got in. Oh, they just all fell. All right, this is Coach Dent. Does anybody have a Coach Dent? One guy has a Coach Dent, and he looks really scared right now. This one is for Mr. Ocampo, who has promised that if they are an A school, he will apparently kiss an alligator on the nose or something like that. Who has this one? All right, one girl, and she's very excited about it. There's one of me that says Spock ears. That's just offensive and probably a little true. That's awkward too. Mr. Neinstein, back as AD, and this says old school. And then the man, the myth, the legend, Dennis Money Picks Jacob. Do you want this? I'm going to give that to you.
Man, that's an old pick.
All right, so we are so excited to be here. Port St. Lucie, by the way, 1-0 after last week's win over LEAH Classic. So let's start here, and we've got senior defensive back Deontae Cooper here, who's going to do double duty and hold both the house mic and our mic. Deontae, your takeaway, what's your biggest takeaway after last week's game?
In last week's game, we had a lot of missed opportunities in the red zone. I wish we could take back, but we can't.
You know you won, right?
Yeah. But we could have scored more points than what we put up.
All right, you guys did score 25, correct? I think that's the right number.
Yeah.
What do you got? How exciting is that to start a season 1-0? You go into a big district game this week against Westwood.
Well, it brings us a lot of momentum and going into the first district game against Westwood.
Coach Dent, you're going to pass that down. Coach Dent, same question. What's your biggest takeaway?
Biggest takeaway from LEAH Placid game, obviously, like Deontae said, we missed some opportunities, but it was good to get a start out 1-0. Defense played lights out. They pinched a shutout. Even though LEAH Placid scored, it was on special teams, but the defense played really good. Offensive line paved the way. We rushed for over 235 yards. But there's some. We could definitely, penalties and stuff kind of hurt us, but it's a good way to start the season.
Dennis, to you, your biggest takeaway?
I think the biggest takeaway is just that this team was able to score. A year ago, 59 points for the season. They opened with 25. They get their first season opening win since 2010, and then you combine that with the way that Port St. Lucie rallied from a 17-0 deficit in the kickoff classic against Seminole Ridge and nearly won that game against a Class 8A school. That's real momentum, and I think the fact that the defense, that's only the second time in the last 28 games that Port St. Lucie has held an opponent below 14 points. Wow. That's a sign of improvement right there. So all things pointing up right now for PSL, and a good time heading into that district opener against Westwood.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. This is a team that won the spring game, had a very outstanding showing in the kickoff classic, and there's some dispute as to whether they should have won that game or not. We won't get into that. And, they win last week. So, Dennis, and we're going to kind of go down, same question everybody. We'll start with you, Dennis. Where do you look at this team and go, here's the biggest improvement from last year to this year?
I think you have to look at all phases. This is a team that at times had trouble stopping people last year and scoring. And not only did they score last week, but I like the fact that it was 4 different people that scored touchdowns. Right. Donald Rutledge had a punt return. Anquan Hicks, Montavious Yerby, and Emmanuel Noel had touchdown runs. When you get you like to have the home run hitter, the 2,000-yard rusher, but when you don't have that, the more guys that can contribute, the much harder it is for a defense to focus on any one guy. So I think that alone, the fact that more people are contributing really is going to pay off this into not just last week or the week before, but this entire season.
Sure. Same question. Coach, same question. What's different about this team from last year?
I think overall, the kids bought into the off-season program. I had a full year as myself and the coaches. We had a full year to work with the kids in the off-season, get stronger and faster, and I think it paid off in the spring game. They built a lot of confidence and a lot of momentum going into the fall workouts. The Seminole Ridge game was a great test for us, and that game is going to help us throughout the year because I told our kids that's probably going to be one of the most physical teams and games that we play all year long, and it really helped us going into LEAH Placid game.
Beautiful. DeAndre, same question. What's the biggest difference you see?
The biggest difference was this year we're more like mature because last year we were a very young team, We only had like 7 seniors, and going into this year, we had more seniors and more kids like putting in overtime like during the summer, because last summer we only had like 2 weeks of practice because we were waiting on a head coach, and this year we had a whole summer, so it made a big difference.
Sure. You keep going. All right. I need the crowd, and the crowd has been very good and very loud, and we appreciate that. I need your guys' help, and here's how we're going to do. We're going to do a quick thing. You guys tell me what you want to do, and I'll know because you bang your hands together. So don't woo. Last week I told Vero, hey, bang your hands. That means clap. And they were like, oh, woo, and nobody clapped, so it was really sad. Let's see how good you guys did. DeAndre's going to play a game. You guys are going to figure out what game it's going to be. He can either play word association. I give him a word, and then he says the first clean word that comes to mind. Or I can ask him what his favorites are, favorite restaurant, things like that. Who wants to hear him play word association? Okay. Who wants to hear him play favorites? Let's go word association. All right. So again, I say a word, you say the first clean word that comes to mind. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Football.
Sport.
That was a hard one. Shopping.
Mall.
Steak.
Burger.
Where do you eat? Never mind. Okay. Coach Dent.
Mentor.
That was good, and I like that you took a while. Robots.
Technology.
Port St. Lucie High School.
On the come up.
All right. And now, I know you're playing Westwood, but obviously, let's ask about your rival, St. Lucie West Centennial.
I mean, they played...
One word.
One word to describe them? I guess, I mean, I can't really describe them one word. It's pretty hard.
All right, we'll take no answer as an answer. All right, Deontae, we're going to start here, and we're going to go back to you and Coach Dent. A lot of your coaches are Port St. Lucie graduates. How much does that make a difference? Coach, first to you, and then to DeAndre. Deontae? Sorry, bro.
Yeah, having coaches on staff that have graduated from PSL, it means a lot to them to come back to the program, because what they're doing is, you know, they're invested in this school. You know, they've graduated from here. They want to see this program do good, so they're invested in making this school and this program the best it could be.
Deontae, what does it mean to have so many coaches that went here coaching you up?
Well, it makes it like it feels like it's actually like PSL, like it's more home. Like they have like coaches that have been here, so they know what's going on like at the school, and like us losing in the past, and they know what it feels like. Like Terrell Floyd, he knows what it's like to win because he came from a winning team. And I don't know about Coach Russell. I forgot. I didn't know he came here until he told me. But yeah, I mean, it's better having coaches that win here because they know what's going on.
All right, give those mics back to your coach. All right, no, Coach, to you, and then we'll ask Dennis some questions. But all right, here's what we're gonna do, Coach. I'm gonna ask you a list of things. You're gonna tell me what your favorite is. You ready? Okay. Okay. Favorite restaurant?
Outback.
Favorite pregame superstition? Do you have any?
I don't.
Okay. How many of you guys have superstition, pregame superstition? You have to do the same thing every game. 5 of them. All right. Favorite movie?
Top Gun.
That's old school. All right. Favorite team to beat?
The one we're playing.
All right. When you were in high school, what was your favorite video game?
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Nice. What was your favorite class?
PE.
All right. Last one. Coach, when you were in high school, who was your celebrity crush? Ooh.
Alyssa Milano from Who's the Boss.
Dennis, you got any questions for these guys?
Well, I think the biggest question that would be on my mind is what's going to be the biggest key this Friday against Thursday against Fort Pierce Westwood.
The biggest key from Westwood is a team that has a bunch of just great athletes, and we have to match them. They have two tremendous offensive players, their quarterback and their running back, Coy and Burgess. Those two guys are phenomenal players, and we're going to have to, on defensively, we got to get helmets to the football. We're going to have to gang tackle. Open field tackling is going to be very important. So you know they're going to make plays, but we just have to, we have to make sure we tackle. Offensively, it all starts like every week. It's up front, our offensive line. They got to pave the way for the backs and open up the play action game.
Deontae, what's the biggest key when you look at Westwood?
Well, we just got to execute on all sides of the ball. Basically, like Coach Dent said, we all got to run to the ball because Coy's very slippery, so is Marquise. So if we get all of us gang tackle, I'm pretty sure we'll come out successful.
All right, pass that down to Dennis. It's time to this one. All right. Moment of truth, Money Picks. Who's going to win the game?
Well, I really like the progress that Port St. Lucie's making. They're kind of facing a wounded bear in Fort Pierce Westwood, which was frankly embarrassed by St. Lucie West Centennial a week ago. They were just dazed by a barrage of first half points. Got to believe their focus is going to be very intense this week. They obviously want to get things going on a positive note. That said, I think that the running game for Fort Pierce Westwood, when it's clicking with Coy Gray and Marcus Burgess, I think is very hard to stop. I think Port St. Lucie's made a lot of progress, but PSL has only started 2-0. If I'm going by memory here, I think it started 2-0 only once. That was in 1992. I think it's going to be just a little bit too tall a hurdle to get to this year. I look for Westwood to win this game 24-17.
Watch your tires, Money Picks. These guys are not happy. Here's the thing for me. I really like what Port St. Lucie's doing. And Dennis, I say this every year, you and I've kind of bought in full on Fort Pierce Westwood, and we're still kind of waiting for that stock to rise. So why not? Port St. Lucie 17-16. And I'm going to say one more thing. That wasn't it. I'm going to say one more thing. I think whoever wins this game will win the district. That's my prediction. Whoever wins this game wins the district. So why not PSL? That's it for us. From Dennis, Coach Dent, Deontae, myself. Have a safe week. See you on Friday.
See ya.